Hi everyone, welcome to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And let's get started with my EVE Online week, which has been pretty slow and steady, I would say, because I managed to finish the missions pretty nicely, get to a 5.0, 5 point a little bit with the corporation, where I know that I can very easily get to a level 4 agent with and a couple, in fact, not that far around. Yes, Yoda, I think they're called. So I did that with the EOS, couple more level 3 missions. It really was not that big a deal to get that final push going, and honestly I think it's almost a toss-up. Of the level 3 missions will be more efficient time-wise, but it's also a bigger time commitment. And on the other hand, having, let's say, two level 1 or level 2 agents available in a single station is basically going to allow you to do almost the same, just, you know, with the ability to decide on the time scales a little bit more easily. And yeah, it feels to me like once you've got the skills going, because I do have, I think, all those skills maxed for getting the skill boost that you can get with your reputations, that the grind is actually more doable than what I expected. You basically just want one cruiser and then a battle cruiser that can handle the level 3s, and you can make your way into level 4 range pretty damn easily. Now the EOS is overpowered, way overtanked for the mission, but the idea there is that I could also move that one to Gekutami and then potentially perhaps use it as a command ship if I ever decide to do some fleets for these level 4 missions. Armor fleets could really, I think, benefit from the EOS and its command burst. So we'll see what I decide to do. It's just an idea that's playing around in my head at the moment, and I just need to now build my battleship for the level 4 missions and get started on those for hopefully some more juicy rewards. Because of course, while the LP, no, not the LP, but the standings rewards, you know, I think that's decently competitive. That doesn't ramp up to ridiculous levels or anything like that. The ISK rewards, of course, do ramp up substantially, going from level 1 to level 2, level 3, and then to level 4. So we'll see how that works out, and of course I will keep you guys up to date. For the PI, just another regular week there, and then the BPCs. Last week I did go to Amar because I had a jump clone, as all of my research jobs were done. Grabbed all the BPCs and I put them up for sale on Amar. We'll see. That actually was not that long ago, so we'll see how the sales are going there. I feel like it's picked back up again for some reason. Like basically the first week where I went and did the BPC sales in Amar while I was exploring in Mimitar space, like nothing sold. I was like a little bit panicked, started to move stuff to rents and things like that, you know, to just get some sales going. But it seems to have, you know, been a lot better in the last couple of weeks, where I've managed to make more sales for the blueprint copies, Orcas, freighters, and then always one, usually at least one combat ship as well, a carrier, a dreadnought, or something like that. Margins are still pretty healthy. I'm basically making really nice passive ISK from those blueprint copies as well. And that was basically my week in EVE Online, just getting ready for that level 4 mission, you know, setup, and then we'll probably work on a couple of other corporations, because I know that there are more level 4 agents available in and around the system that I chose. And this left me some time to play some more Space Engineers, which is exactly what I did, of course, after our successful attack on the salvage base, the pirate base I'm gonna call. I'm not really sure if they're actually pirates, but they were read to us, so we just started blasting, and we managed to conquer that. We managed to get a little bit of fuel for power there, so some uranium, and also a little bit of components for the ion engines and some raw materials there, but it's really not enough to do what I want to do with those materials for the large cube. So large grid ship really does take a lot of resources, and so the next step was quite obvious. We have to go into space, which was the whole point, of course, of getting started right away on a large grid ship, putting the refinery there, putting the assembly there, and then just starting to build it out through those those 9x9 basically cube blocks, and then just set it up and keep going like that. And so in order to do that, I did feel like I wanted to have a nice big supply of fuel in the large cube, basically 100% filled fuel tanks. That meant a lot of ice mining and quite a bit of patience, because I don't have that many H2O2 generators in order to turn that ice into fuel. But that's exactly what I did. I basically jury-rigged an extra set of drills on the side of the cube, just so that I could have a one piston setup that would basically go through an ice layer. And then what I did, of course, was also add a rotor, put a conveyor between the 3 drills that I did there, so that it just takes a nice big surface, and this is where the ice started to roll in. Basically, if that one gets going, then we get enough ice that the H2O2 can easily follow. We basically start to accumulate ice, and then on top of that, I have the internal setup, which I can keep using there as well. So that got me nice big chunks of ice. We had to do a couple of hops, honestly. I do seem to have a lot of capacity when it comes to cargo space and the hydrogen tanks in the large cube, but that's good. I want that redundancy. I want to make sure that when I go up into space, that I feel ready for that, because well, that's actually what I did right at the end of the week as well. So a little bit of a spoiler maybe for you guys that watch the Sunday recap, but yeah, the cube has made it into space, and pretty easily so, on 2-3% of my fuel. So we do have that redundancy, but 2-3% of my fuel is still an enormous amount of ice. Yeah, just watching a Splitsy video on getting to space for the first time helped a lot. Basically making sure that some of the stuff was off and that I didn't push against the 100 meters a second barrier that the game has. Things like that helped me get in there pretty easily and pretty efficiently. And then yeah, the first couple of hours basically in space, man, I still have stress from that. I'm not sure what it is, but sort of have this fear that if I would run out of oxygen, I start to choke up in real life as well. And then when I'm just standing on top of the cube and looking down at the earth, I get like a fear of height type of clammy hands. Not as bad as what I get in real life, but there is this element of fear, because we are in a hostile environment there, and I don't have the experience of how do I progress from here, how do I then find that uranium, get all of that stuff done, keep building, which was actually so easy, so comfortable on the Earth-like planet. But overall, yeah, that's gonna be the next challenge, I think, for space engineers, is basically get into space and make sure that I can have a prolonged stay there, because I could very easily land the cube back and build up there, but that's really not the plan. The plan is actually to stay up in space, fly around there, find out what it's like to fly around, because your range normally without the gravity should be enormous on the fuel that you have, because you can basically boost yourself to a certain speed, then just drift out and cut off your engine so you don't use any more fuel, and after that you can just press, I'm not exactly sure what it is, it's like W, which turns off something that tries to stabilize you automatically, so you just keep drifting in that direction, activate the stabilization and your engines for a little bit, you come to a full stop, and there you go. On really no fuel, you can move very large distances, which is of course the way you want to go in order to find those resources, grab them, and then increase the potential for the cube, which is going to be, I think, ion engines, and then some power production from the uranium, and then finally, of course, a warp engine is on the menu as well. I think I need quite a few blocks, because it was like 7 million kilograms or something like that of weight that went up into space there, but it did so quite easily, and there's plenty of room to put in quite a few of those warp engines, so it should be good. I think we can do it. I just need to get past my fear of, all right, this time we're going into space, there's no air around us. Have to make sure that I keep an eye on my oxygen as well. Oxygen production has to keep going, so I'll probably need to find ice up there as well. It's going to be interesting, but that's going to be the next challenge. And yeah, Space Engineers, highly recommended, guys. It's an amazing game. It's also a game that's been out for quite a while, so you can probably, you know, just wait for a summer sale or a winter sale or something like that, then just grab it with all the DLC. It's really amazing. I'm having an absolute blast playing and experimenting with my cubes in Space Engineers. And yeah, that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.